one of the players who's playing in Japan this year, my favorite player of all time, well, second favorite player of all time, Mr. Shohei Ohtani, he got some advice from your former teammate. Barry Bonds said that Shohei Ohtani should give it up and not pitch anymore. What do you think about that?
Interesting. I'm gonna say this straight up. I don't think it's going to be Shohei's choice. I don't think he's going to last. I don't think he's going to stay healthy. I don't think it's going to be long enough that pitching is going to be a choice for him. I think he's going to end up having to be a hitter 24/7 anyways. And that's just the reality. We've talked about it on the show here. It's a hot take that no one else will say. No one else will actually talk about this. So he's going to get hurt again in the pretty near future. I don't believe he is going to be able to stay healthy long enough to stay a pitcher.
I think the year after next, he will not be pitching. I think he will pitch the rest of this year. I think next year we're going to have that one dream season that I believe that he is capable of having, where he is the best hitter and best pitcher in all of baseball. And I think after that, as his age catches up to him, as he gets hurt eventually, because how many guys have come back from multiple Tommy Johns and have been great? Not many.
Like just a few couple guys, and we still jury's out on most of them.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty much the beginning of the end right now. However, for Barry Bonds to say that he should just stop, and I respect Barry. He's the best hitter in the history of the game. But for him to say for Shohei to stop right now, for me, is not the right thing. Because Shohei, because of what he's able to do, be a great pitcher and a great hitter, he's bringing eyes to the game. And the anomaly is what makes him special. He's special no matter what. He's a 50-50 guy. Nobody's ever done that. But the fact that he does both is the reason why he is the greatest all-around player in the history of the game, and it's hands down.
And don't take that away. And here's the thing about it. He's still really amazing at what he does. He still can crush it, and then he's still a great pitcher. I just don't think historically injuries like this are going to last. And I would hate to see him miss more at bats because of an arm injury, but I feel like it's going to happen. And it just sucks. And I hate it. I'm not wishing injury on anybody. I just think from a health standpoint, you're watching a dude that's not been able to stay healthy as a pitcher long enough to really have an impactful pitching career. He's had a very impactful seasons, but not as a pitching career. He's already missed 2 full seasons plus as a pitcher. No, don't get me wrong. When our rehab pitcher is out there rehabbing, he has one of the greatest hitting seasons of all time. You can't ignore that. But like, if he was a pitcher, we'd be talking about like, oh my God, like the years that could have been. The pitcher that could have been great. We kind of talking about DeGrom, but DeGrom still had more seasons under his belt where he was the greatest pitcher. Yeah. And that's the issue. Sometimes there's movements and there's body movements that just don't hold up. I actually think Roki Sasaki won't. I don't see it. I don't see it for over a long term that he's going to stay healthy. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I think he's going to blow out as well.
Yeah. I have a question for you that quite frankly, I don't know the answer. I'm not trying to set you up for anything for a change.
Go for it.
Okay. Pitching, from what I've heard, is really about being able to have your routine. As a pitcher, you need that routine. So let's say Shohei, the year after next, he decides, okay, I'm done pitching. Could he, because he's so great as an athlete and because he has such talent as a pitcher, could he say, oh, you know what? I haven't pitched in a couple of months, but it's game 2 of the NLCS. We need 3 outs really bad here. Do pitchers have the ability to do that if they're not getting their regular rest, their regular work in? Can they get that 1 inning out of them if they need it?
Okay, so I'd do the scenarios more like this. If he's been pitching and then they just like, all right, let's move you to the bullpen for a game. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I'm talking about if he hasn't pitched all year, let's say in 2027.
No, that's just asking for massive injury stuff. Guys can do it. Guys can do it. Guys are superior athletic ability. A guy like Ohtani that can do almost anything, and any single one of those guys can step on the mound and throw. The problem is like to be able to do that, stay healthy, do it on a successful level, totally different. like the feel of the strike zone, the feel of your secondary pitches, and you're out there just cranking sliders and curveballs and changeups, like, and you haven't been throwing it. If he's throwing bullpens all the time, without a doubt, even then though, I'd say like, because there's a difference between doing it in games and getting in that routine and facing batters and throwing strikes and throwing a ball on the corner of the plate and being able to control it. Him throwing a ball like on the corner, that perfect little corner, versus that ball now coming back over the plate, and like as a normal person watching TV, you're like, oh, there's no difference there. To us, it's the world of difference.
Oh yeah,
and that's what rest, even like an all-star break, screws you up. And an all-star break, even after those 3 days off, and I'm still playing catch, throwing a bullpen, those 3-4 days off, you come back, that first outing feels like it's your first of the year, because you're just all over the place. You're not locked back in mentally, physically, that feel of you and the catcher. So I say you can do it. Will he be successful at doing that? Hell no. No one would ever be successful doing that unless it was just like, hey, like, you still have the greatest stuff in the world. Like, you're going to figure it out. But to me, it's like your chance of failure is so much higher in a situation like that.
What if they start ramping him up in August and they say, now start doing some bullpens
Absolutely.
here? Yeah.
Absolutely. But like on the back end, before games, you're doing live BPs. Before stuff, like, you're doing the pitching. So might as well just pitch him. You know what I mean? Like, at least have him as an opener. Do something like that. I know you can't really use it as an opener because it takes away the hitter and all that crazy stuff. But do something to where you're pitching, because if you're going to do that, might as well do it and going out there on some level, because the risk of hurting yourself is just as high in a game as it is in a live BP when you're trying all out to be ready for a game like that. So to me, there's no point if you're doing the bullpens and stuff. Like, I'll say this: I've been around guys that are hitters that still throw bullpens, but it's not the same. The level of expectation is not the same. You're throwing bullpen just to stay on the mound and keep your arm going, but your execution of pitches are not what on the level that you should be on ever, because there's no end in sight, right? There's no like, oh, I'm going to be on a game in that day, like, so like, you go, okay, just throw a bullpen, feel good about yourself, throw strikes. Throwing strikes isn't good enough.
I just feel bad for Shohei because he's not like me, where, I hadn't pitched in 10 years, and then last season I came out of retirement and dominated. And now as a result, I had to come out of retirement this year. I'm going to be pitching all summer, which is going to take away from my golf, but they begged me. What can I do?
Right? Shohei, I love it. Stay pitching as long as you can. To me, stay pitching as long as you can. Barry, best hitter I've ever been around, best hitter I've ever seen in baseball. Just do what you're really good at and hit a baseball. I think at the end of the day, what Barry's basically saying about Shohei is, you're so good, just do that. Like, and I get it, but he's also a really good pitcher.
Yeah. It'd be funny, though, if he does stop pitching and all of a sudden he attacks Barry's record. I could see it.
Now, I think the average is he'd have to hit, 50 a game, 50 a season for 15 seasons?
Well, I was talking about a single season. I don't think there's any chance. Right. I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying even that. No.
Well, he's got a better chance at the single season than he does the all-time mark. There's no chance he's going to catch up to the all-time mark.
I don't think anybody will ever get close to that single season. Again, I don't think. I mean, we're talking about like when guys are hitting 60, that's like, oh my God. I don't think they're ever going to get up in the 70s. I don't know. Like, maybe that's crazy because like Barry did it. Like, what's why can't Shohei?
Yeah.
Why can't somebody, like, he has to do it as a pitcher, right? Oh, sorry, he has to do it without pitching. He can't.
Yeah, there's no chance he's ever going to do it if he's pitching. But when he wraps it up, if he wraps up his pitching career soon, he's got a small chance. And I can't say that there's many guys in baseball that even have a small chance other than Judge
or Ohtani. Judge or Ohtani, who has a better chance of hitting 70?
Judge.
What is Barry's 73?
Yeah.
What's a better chance, Shohei or Judge?
Judge, 100%.
Is there anybody else that even comes close to that?
The single season mark in the game today? I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Now, because of his contract, there's a chance if he stays super healthy that Soto could end up becoming the all-time home run leader.
No,
but,
well, No, not
Why?
even close.
Why?
50 for 15 years. That's it. Like, that's the number. Like, that's 50 for 15 years. And how many does he have right now? What's the average right now?
Hank Aaron never hit 50 in his career. Not once.
Yeah, but he played 20 some, so he had to hit 40 every year.
Okay, so you're telling me that Soto couldn't do 40 a year for his entire rest of his contract?
Which he's only done once. And he's already 25.
Right. But he's also 26.
Yeah, so he's going to go into the 26th season. So he's 201 home runs. Okay, so let's throw off the math here, right?
Okay.
So Barry's got what, 750? Oh no, Barry's got. God, my God.
Yeah, I don't even know how many Barry has.
It's so funny how when you go back to the 714, how we all know that number, like, so, like, off the top of our head, right?
Yeah, and then 755 was Aaron.
755 was Aaron, so that's what it is. So the great one has 762.
762. Okay.
So he's 550 home runs, 51 home runs.
Okay.
So 551 divided by how many years more? 15.
Mm-hmm.
He has to average 37 a year for 15 years.
That's not impossible.
That's still till he's 39 or 40.
Okay.
41.
Okay.
37 and he's not even close to averaging that right now.
No, but he would have to, and I don't know how we got on this tangent, but he would have to get over the next 4 or 5 years 45 to 46 home runs, so that way he doesn't have to have 37 later on in his career when he's getting older, which is not unreasonable.
He's averaging 28 right now. That's unreasonable.
It's not.
Dude, like, I don't think the New York, I don't think the Mets, that stadium is a left-handed friendly home run ballpark. It's better than right-handed, but it's not a type of ballpark where you're just going to sit there and crush nonstop. I don't know if he was a New York Yankee and he kept playing for the New York Yankees. It's why his numbers jumped when he was in New York.
Yeah.
With the Yankees, like, if he was the Yankee, I'd say, okay, like, there's an outside chance of hitting 600. An outside chance of hitting 600. But to me, too, it's going to be interesting because he's an all-around type of ball player. He's not a back like, I'm going to just trying to hit 50 home runs every year type of guy, which you have to be to do that. He's a take base. He takes too many bases. He's trying to get too many hits, trying to too many RBIs, or just like base hits or left, right. To be in that category, you got to be a back leg guy.
Okay, let's go full circle over here. End up with Ohtani. Who's going to finish their career with more home runs, Ohtani or Soto?
I like the debate. Okay, where is Ohtani right now?
200 something.
Okay, and age is Ohtani is entering this season at 30.
Yep.
225 to 201, and he's got 4 years. Ohtani. Ooh, I think Ohtani. I think we're going to see. I don't know. I'm going to call this at 35. We're going to. God, at 35. And 9 years for Soto. I was about to say, in 9 years, we're going to see a fat, slow Soto. But he's got 9 more years to do it. Ohtani has 6 more years of real hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Soto,
huh?
Soto. You have to. It's at 4 years.
It's going to be really close, dude.
And Ohtani's and I'm going to say this, Ohtani's going to miss another year from Tommy John. Like, it depends on when he gets hurt, right? Like,
well, not necessarily, because last year
depends on when he gets hurt. He got hurt at the end of the year with the Angels, so he had surgery. He had months to be able to sit there and recover.
Right.
Like, if he would have gotten hurt in July, the rest of the season's gone.
Yeah.
It's just timing. Like, it's like, that's the thing. He still had 135 games of the Angel before he had Tommy John. And so that's the type of things you have to take into account. If that happened in like May, the season's gone.
So basically what we're saying is we're rooting for Ohtani. If Ohtani gets hurt, we're rooting for him to get hurt during the playoff time because we want to see him back soon. But Dodger fans, Don't want to
So
see
many
him.
problems. Ohtani will be behind him, behind Soto in home runs at the end of their career.
Okay.
And it's just going to be from accumulation for Juan Soto. He started so much younger here in the U.S., and he's been a hitter 24/7. And Ohtani, 46, 34, 44, 54. Yeah.
Look at all the red italics in there that show when he was a league leader on everything. That's sick.
135 games and he had 44 home runs. Like, if he would have just been healthy, not had Tommy John,
Yeah,
like
55.
20 more games, he would hit. That's another 10 home runs on the list. God dang, Ohtani. That's why we just sit there and like, okay, all right, it's insane.